Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back. This is going to be a little bit of a different reading. I just have the Daily Dharma uploading right now, and it seemed to talk just a little bit about collaboration, but it was talking more about the lead up and verifying and confirming for us that wherever we may have found ourselves in recent times, that all of this has been leading us up to something on purpose in divine timing. And so this next reading here, I wanted to get a couple of different decks, and it kind of emerged as I was doing the pre-shuffles what we are going to be talking about here. And it looks like we're sort of extending this and doing a combined energy reading where we're going to talk about the collaborators within some of your ventures, or the people that are the players in the theater of your life. So on the Tao Te Ching deck, as I was shuffling, we have the Art of War card coming out. Combined energy equals teamwork. It's easier to lift a heavy weight with others than by ourselves. You can apply this towards your decision making too. Seek advice from those who are more knowledgeable than you in specific areas, which will help you to make better small choices. The more you know, the more options that you will have. So that was similar to the message that we got earlier. So that was my indication from Spirit that we're still talking about working together with others. So I'll probably name this Daily Dharma2. And then underneath we have a Tao Te Ching card number 16. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you, and when death comes, you're ready. So talking about living your life to the fullest so that when death comes, you're ready for it, and having, even within a situation, whether it's work, friends, family, or intimate romantic partnership, when you have done all things, when you've expressed all things and giving each other communication, then if change comes to the relationship, then the relationship knows whether it can sustain throughout the change, or whether the true full death comes and there's a shift in leaving that partnership or friendship or whatever it might be, job. So anything else here? Yeah, it's maintaining perspective amidst the dynamics and the shifts and changes and the tumult and the stresses, the chaos, the drama within life. Being able to recognize that thoughts about that aren't as helpful, that we need to be aware when the mind starts to circle around things that have gone on, instead of using the higher mind to stop thinking and talking only about people and then events, and then maybe getting into some ideas about what would we prefer, getting into that realm as a higher mindset, and then from there giving your mind over to things that inspire you, that are creative, that are exciting, things that light you up instead of things that get you riled up. So once we can empty our minds of the monkey mind, then we are in touch with the source of life force energy, which keeps coming up. And then that's where the inner artistry, the inner co-creator comes forward and is like, yeah, that might not have worked out, but I'm so excited that now I know that that was taking me in a direction that isn't where I truly want to go. And now that I'm on this road that I do want to travel down, now I can go with gusto. Now I can attract those forces, resources, experiences, opportunities, and individuals that are also on that road. And so then we have the Dreams of Gaia deck. I wanted to see from here who the players are, because this is a deck that has a lot of people in it. This one, as I was pre-shuffling, I was thinking underneath the deck would be the representation of the viewer. So the wrists are bound, but look at how powerful and connected this individual is. Aware, awakened, enlightened, purified, cosmic. So many things come through this card with the potentials of the individual. Whether you're masculine or feminine, you may feel that you're here to honor the sacred femininity of nurturing, receiving, and co-creating from that space, the beingness. And then the one that flipped out when that came out was this ace. All the dragons are aces, or all the aces are dragons in this deck. This one being the air dragon. It's a beautiful thing, holding this beautiful coin, some type of activation. I think that all of the aces in this deck are the activators, and so you can see how, whoops, you can see how the individual shown here, yourself perhaps, is in a similar color palette to this dragon energy. So if you've had some recent upgrades, then this silvery, whitish, lavender essence here in this dragon is influencing you, and it's bringing something forward for you that is new and fresh, aligned, purified, cleansed, and renewed. Let's see, who are the individuals that we're looking at as far as collaborators or otherwise, if this message for you is talking about something like a family or workplace dynamic. All right, the first one coming out, we have the Nine of Water with an enlightened, possible feminine, more maiden, youthful energy here. Somebody who's listening to light codes, cosmic influx, mediumship. This individual is aware of their own symbol language and is seeming in this card. Don't take it if it doesn't resonate for you, but this individual may be benefited from some grounding exercises. It looks like they're very cosmically inspired, but that the darkness of the feminine here at the base without the structure might indicate that there's a bit of a disconnection from the more natural realms, such as being really secure and feeling solid in one's own body, in one's own financial well-being, health concerns, things like that, more creative than grounded in this moment. That individual shows up, and their guide coming in under the deck is this masked avian energy. There's that eagle energy. I see Thor's axe. I don't remember the name of it, but it's actually a dagger. This person may wear dangly earrings. Doesn't have to be. It looks like some type of, maybe like a Lemurian or Atlantean or consciousness of a starseed origin, and the study of various starseed origins and cosmic mythology here and previous lives is important to that individual at this time. Let's get our next collaborator here. well, we have a couple cards. So, all right, so this individual may be somewhat of a shapeshifter energy. So let's see what's under the deck before I reveal this, because I'm curious now. Wow. Okay. I'm going to do this in a specific order. So the first two of the three that popped out, check these out. This is a water and an earth sign. So there's this Gemini magician, but also Castor Pollux, the good twin, bad twin type of dynamic here. I don't know if this is talking about something that could potentially be at your detriment or not, because we do see this individual playing cards with someone's heart. Somebody over here in the base of this tree is almost captured and crying here, and this individual is looking a little bit more devious, possibly sinister, but appearing themselves, cloaking themselves from this devil energy, devil, trickster, charlatan energy, cloaking themselves as this enlightened spiritual leader with open arms and dolphin energy. That's kind of, to me, Atlantean Lemurian as well. So this individual has two aspects. They are in contact with the higher realms, and I feel like they are wanting to be a good individual. They want to be known as someone who is enlightened, aligned, and attuned, and doing the right thing. But whether this is a fear or an inner shame or a disowned aspect of their shadow, something they've grown out of, or whether it's something that kind of tips them back and forth, it appears that that individual has a bit of complexity to them. So the third card that popped out with them is the same one that was the guide for this previous card. So you may even see this could potentially, for some of you, be a couple where this individual is learning through this individual here, or somewhat nested within this situation. So for some of you, if you have friends or family members that you have concerns that this impressionable, ungrounded, creative individual, possibly feminine, is nested within the frequency of somebody who has this duality hold over them, and potentially creating some unhappiness within that relationship, take that seriously. But this guide here is kind of telling us that although it can bring up a lot of worry and anxiety, that there are factors and forces beyond our recognition, or perhaps we recognize it and just can't necessarily have full faith in it because of our earthly desire to act and respond. There is something there that these individuals, if they are indeed in some type of connection, friendship, or partnership, in cooperative uh, codependency, they're learning something through that situation. And so um, it might just kind of be what it is right now. And we can try to be our own influences, but we need to um, let ourselves be love in the situation, and not um, creating any polarization, because as some of you know, if an individual that's nested under someone else, if either one of those get wind that you're interfering or trying to put a wedge between that process, even the guides may step in and say, there's something to be learned here, you cannot interfere, this has to run its course, but you can definitely continue to maintain your opinions, and that you are a safe harbor, that no questions need be asked. If they ever need you, you'll be there, type of a thing. So this guide, stepping out with them, and the underneath card here, look at the masculine's guide card coming out. It's very similar to the feminine's. And so there is something quite incredible happening between these two individuals. So whatever this might be, I'm going to lay those out a little differently. I'm going to place this one over here with that feminine instead of on the masculine. they're working with each other's guides in an important way. And yeah, this one is almost a little bit matrix-esque, where somebody is a little bit more manipulative or suggestive. They could be a little bit of a hypnotist, hypnotic type energy, where they may not fully know. They may be somewhat a spell worker. I don't want to create any fear, though. I'm being told overall that this is something that those individuals have committed to and contracted to on the soul level. So something is playing out there. Let's move on. Anyone else that's important as a collaborator or person of interest in the story? That was a big pile. I'm going to put that back in because these cards get so complicated and complex. Specifics, please. Show us the cards that we most need to see. Does that one want to come out? I'm going to let them fall out on their own. This one's showing. Wow. Okay, so there may also be two masculines. They're showing as some type of fiery gladiator type thing. I don't know, maybe you're even taking part in some type of physical exertion, exercise, or programming, or something sporting, like maybe you're just doing something martial arts, boxing, um, football, basketball, tennis, whatever it might be for you, swimming or something. But with this, it almost seems like there's these two individuals here in the one depiction where somebody is potentially, and look at how twinning they are here. This person may be at war within themselves. They have a lot of inner masculine essences that are trying to vie for control and dominance within their personality. And this can cause them to feel that others are trying to tell them what to do. They may have a mother-father wound operating in their energy, and they don't need to be the gender that is depicted in the card. It's more that they're working along that axis within their growth cycle right now. So this could be a female in your story, but working out those masculine aspects of feeling control and power dynamics, and within themselves needing somehow to feel that they have control. Underneath, they could probably use a bit more time in nature, perhaps even for some an emotional support dog or some other type of therapy animal might help. Getting a pet might help, but getting out into the forest is definitely something that will help unlock the next layers of this person's personality. Perhaps they've really just gotten caught up in the dramas, and because they haven't gone out into nature and just really witnessed the miracles and how this is the meaning of life, not reality, fake reality that's coming through the airwaves on our devices and on our TVs and radios or whatever you listen to, podcasts or press conferences or any of these things. Each one of those outlets and platforms has their own personal agenda. It can be no other way, because we're all broadcasting our perspectives and or parroting another's and rehashing it out. So this individual really needs to get back into their true nature and perhaps get away from some of the distractions that are surrounding them. They can seem argumentative, combative, aggressive, fiery, and sometimes even within my own energy, I've noticed that at different times when I get fired up, when I get sassy, I have a grand fire trine in my chart and I can start to get animated. My voice rises, the intensity rises, my blood pressure starts to go because I get excited. It's an actual aspect of the passionate energies being riled up within me. But some people find this triggering or It seems a little dangerous to be around them because some people have experienced other individuals that used their fire in a way to dominate, control, to dictate, to control something about them. And that's what I guess I mean by that mother father wound, where somebody was either not in charge enough and was neglectful, or somebody was oppressive and focused on everything in a negative way, can create a lot of inner turmoil and the need to um, utilize our own energy in a more consciously directed way. And myself knowing how I can be perceived and how scary fire can seem to other individuals, it changes the way that I'm able to reach them with greater compassion. So, on the bottom of the deck, I'm seeing this crisscross of swords with this almost creepy looking Hierophant like energy. This one looks more devilish than anything to me. It looks like somebody who is maybe even brought up with um, with what do I want to say, a type of religious or cultural oppressive rule book that was practiced in such a way to control and demonize the individuals instead of celebrating their light. It developed a lot of division and separation energy. Who next? Any other energies that want to step forward and be spoken about? So we have, I've been told these are kind of separate, but okay, here we have this extremely earthy Empress energy, somebody who's potentially likes to relax and meditate and be at one with nature, probably go barefoot, probably has stained feet or dirty nails from being in the soil. Not necessarily for everyone, but there's this turtle. She's at home in her skin. She's creative. She's abundant. She's um, shifting. She knows about herbology and wild gathering, and she knows that nature moves slowly and evolves over time, and she's taken the time with herself to create something. She's got roots, she's got a plan, she has ideas, it's written down, she's got resources. She might be somebody who gathers um, things like on the homestead, getting all your resources, and like, oh, there's this stack of 2x4s for free on the side of the road. You know, it might be somebody's trash, but you can do so much with it because she's got a plan and she needs 2x4s, so she grabs them. Could also be a masculine. Underneath that, we have this dualistic looking background for her as well, the crying and the mask, the healing energies, feeling demonized from an early age, perhaps poverty mindset, scarcity mindset, raised in such a way that there wasn't always enough for everybody. And so this individual may have grown up kind of on their own, I would say, under their own steam. Um, but that is the zero card. So it's showing that they see all of these options, the doors 1, 2, and 3, and that they have an open mind about how those plans can be attained. They may be really great at helping and adapting and working within, networking within an organization or a community to put things into a plan and creating options, or even if you have some offering that you want to have, like let's say you are a spiritual practitioner, you have multiple things that you can do and offer for people, and then within each one of those things there are tiered involvement. Like if you give spiritual massage, and you can give those 15-minute mini session body reset, um, de-stress. You can give the 30-minute overall refresher, or you can do like an hour or a 2-hour scar tissue alleviation. So you know what I'm saying. This individual sees the ways that things can be adapted and made flexible to appeal um, to the greater world. It's a very highly evolved earth spirit energy, and her guide here is this pan like energy holding up the capstone by his self here, perhaps a little bit of blood coming off of the bicep here, a crack within the facial area. This individual may have been wounded or have a scar or some tattoos in these areas, but it seems like this is the energy of the guidance of getting becoming more and more aware of the sensual delightful nature of the wilderness, and getting really stirred and passionate about the world itself and what can be done and the implications behind, if you build it then they will come, but who are you going to call? Do you want to call in all kinds of different people, all kinds of different events? um, this is something very uh, related to connecting even further with the wild gathering and the herbology and the forces of nature. There's all these cosmic codes around the structure here, and it's this great big window with a great blue sky behind. So it's like something about building the doorways, building the portals, and there's a portal behind her as well that others can move through. So she may be the leader in some way, or one of the lead influences or influencers within the situation that you're involved in. And yes, that's very interesting. Let's go ahead and see if there's any more. Final card. Any final cards? Collaborators. We'll take this one. Ooh, very interesting. So this individual is always very interesting to me. He's got this total Atlantean, advanced technological understanding, very scientific, maybe into the chakras, but as it pertains to more sciencey type things, like the human design model compared to the real superficial column type chakra centers. Like the chakras aren't truly located exactly in a column. The Kundalini, the prana, and Ida Pingala energies, the up and down Shiva Shakti energy is in the column, but the chakras actually have their correspondence to the various organs, which aren't all aligned, but they're all clued and tapped into the column. So this individual takes things just a little bit more logical, literal, and maybe studying things more like correspondence, more like frequencies and um, what am I trying to say? Like chromotherapy, and where you see the musical notes and how the musical notes have their own correspondence to the vital organs and such. Um, yeah, this individual has a lot of information. They may also be good at things like software, technology, social media, marketing, anything along those lines. The more practical, but also involved in this consciousness entrepreneurial mindset. So they're, ooh, look at their guide, gorgeous. It's this enormous dragon behind the feminine. So even though this individual shows up kind of looking stoic, and I hear the ducks flapping around in the water making a ruckus, um, they may appear to be very refined and more quiet, but they have a lot to offer. They also are very highly attuned and connected to their feminine in time. They may just be guarded, and that comes out when they feel that they can have it come out, but only with specific people, because they are guarded by this enormous ferocity here in their energy, this golden orange dragon and this cornucopia they may have actually grown up with a little more money in their family, whether or not they were more attentive parents or not. So I think that that will be enough for the people. We're running a little short on time. Let's see if we can just get... Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and get a card from the Kali Kuan Yin deck, because we're right at the last few minutes. We might get to 33 if Spirit is so kind to allow. I hope that this has helped, that you've been able to recognize a few individuals, what they're working with, their skill set, how they plug into your situation, how you can become more compassionate and synergize with their energy and your own. Under the deck, we have master number 22, Dhumavati. Look at that dark feminine essence. It's like this... I believe that she is the aspect of Kali that wanders around the burial grounds. And so she's very resourceful. She works within the death cycle, and she honors death as the transformation of spirit from matter into ether and into astral, for instance, as the winds pick up. And so you may have some type of endeavor that has some resonance with honoring the death cycle and the shifts and changes necessary. Health and practices, being able to utilize the discarded aspects of other people. And coming out here, we have 22 and 23. Very interesting. This is Bagla Mukti, and she's got a severed tongue in her hand, so she knows what she knows. She brings receipts. She's very educated, and she's also highly inspired. That is high regard, Empress energy up on her throne with her scepter raised high. I believe this is the inspired co-creative adventure that you're on, and how you're showing up in other people's, the collaborators here, how you're showing up in their energy and what it is that they're asking for you in spirit. Dhumavati, the beloved mother who dwells in the smoke, who presides over the most difficult transition. She knows that some endings are unavoidable. They're necessary predecessors to radical reinvention. Her presence brings the message that through disappointment, defeat, or loss, and any negative repercussions that may cause suffering for a time, that does not limit future happiness. So you are all alchemists coming in to transform something through the smoke. And so trust and have that unconditional trust and surrender to universal forces, that you will see how things are working out in your interest. And burning golden light of divine protection here, particularly that of our own making. She's the divine intervention and sacred activity that transforms our karma from that which hinders into our joy, and that which creates true happiness and bliss for ourselves and all beings. As you seek refuge in her, you're protected from any gossip, slander, or any form of negativity from others. Positive turning of your fortunes and of the tides are predicted.